Good morning. There have been bans in the format, and this is going to be my first time streaming since. I am very excited about the bans. I will give a bit of my thoughts on them later, though I will say they are largely very positive. Um, this is the list we're going to be playing in the challenge today. I will also talk about this in more detail later, hopefully, but main things are we're splashing for Gaddock Teague, my boy. It's been a while. I also have a lot of removal currently in this sideboard. It's probably too heavy on removal, and I'm just having a hard time deciding what mix of things that I want. But we'll get to that later. Um, I'm currently 3-0 in a league with this list, so that's fun, and we'll see how the challenge goes. Oh, and here we go. Time to do it. So I'm gonna have a little more time for an intro, but not today. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, and cool. Well, while we have a little bit more time anyway, um, so never mind. I knew as soon as I started talking, and all right. Sand kind of eats dirt to a wasteland, and it's kind of clunky too. I feel like we can do better than this. Wow, this is so much worse. Okay. Uh, well, this isn't good, but what are you gonna do, huh? I'll do this, I guess. All right, well, we can go back to that 7, I guess. Bad starts of the day, but it's such is life sometimes. Still a game in front of us, of course. Island Ponder. How original. They do not shuffle. Interesting. Um. Uh. Yeah, I'll keep this. It's at least proactive, if nothing else. Interesting. Not clear to me why they're doing that in my upkeep, but currently thinking this could be Doomsday, could be just some random blue deck. This fetch will probably tell us a little bit more. Forest. Could be Omni. Lorien revealed. Kind of making me think Omni. Meteor Sword is not legal yet. Let's go ahead and cast Recruiter. Cool. Um, I am going to anticipate Omniscience and get Witch Enchanter now. Yeah, I feel like the fact that my opponent is doing literally nothing about my board is definitely making the possibility of uh it's increasing the possibility of Omniscience. I think I'm gonna get a Bowmasters here if that's the case. There's not really anything I have for Omniscience once I have the Witch Enchanter in my hand, so I think I just want to try to clock him. Next turn, it lets me double spell next turn Stoneforge plus Bowmasters. Excuse me. Good morning. Whew. That is an Omni card, and that also shows some level of desperation that, like, they are digging hard to find some piece of the combo. They don't shuffle. They find an Ancient Tomb. Okay. If it was not entirely clear yet, this is definitely Omniscience. Let's see. I think I'm just going to go Stoneforge Bowmasters now. And I'm probably going to Felia the Bowmasters just to get more damage in. I think that's where my head's at right now. This is going to get Cauldra. We'll get Scrublands here. There's nothing we can do at this point other than clock as hard as possible, so. And Bowmasters theoretically puts like some limits on what they can do. We'll see. Mm-hmm. Yep. I guess maybe Sublime Epiphany just kills us here. We'll see. Firemind's Foresight. Okay. Wish, Procession, Stifle. Straight up Stifle. Okay. Well, we'll see. I guess if they have another wish, then so it is Wish, Procession. Now it's Wish, Firemind's Foresight. They get another Wish. A no 2 mana card. So they have 2 processions in their list for 2 drops, and that's it. And then they find another Stifle. Okay. So another Stifle means that I'm not going to be able to like Solitude an Emrakul. That's what I was kind of hoping for here. So I can just F6 and see what they do. They get Shared Summons. Atraxa and Emrakul, and I'll make them use it. Yep. Okay. We can move on. Okay. Gaddock Teague's going to be good. Disruptor Fleet's going to be good. Deafening Silence and Containment Priest are okay at least. I'm going to cut some Plows. It's not really a good White Orchid Phantom matchup, but these Skyclaves I think are literally dead cards. All right, let's put a pile of potential cuts over here. Lion Sash is not very impressive. I don't really want Phantom Blade. I think it's probably going to come down to just like having some number of phantoms in my deck just to have creatures that can attack. Just want to make sure I don't. Yeah, I definitely don't want those. Do I want a Fair Macabre? It's like literally only for a Auroral Procession. It's not good. It just might be better than something here, just because like I have so many cards I'm kind of trying to cut. I think I'm almost certainly going to cut the Skyclaves. I'm going to cut the Phantom Blade. I'm going to cut the Lion Sash. I got to make another pile. So these are cards I'm definitely cutting. So I would need to cut 3 more to get to my current plan. I could go up to 4 more and have Fairy Macabre as a potential interaction for Auroral Procession, which feels probably better than these cards. At least I can just cast it in attack if I need to. So maybe I just do this. Oh, I need to cut 1 more. I do this. Yeah, let's try that. Oh man, this hand would be so good if it had the mana to do anything. Okay, can I stop getting 1-landers? Oh my god. Yeah, I got it. I got them all again. I guess I'm just gonna mull into dust this time. I don't really like Wasteland against them, and I would like to have 2 white sources for my White Orchid Phantoms. Man, that 7 would have been cool if I had enough lands for it. That was a bummer. I don't really want a land enough to choose to keep one when, yeah, like we're just going to find another one. I think I'm just going to flute Show and Tell in their upkeep. Or if they fetch. All right. I really just want to start a challenge with a win because it's been I keep losing round 1. And it's very annoying. I'm just gonna cast this for a clock. I'm gonna thin by getting rid of my shadowy backstreet, and then I'll play my other one. I don't have to worry about my mana being under attack, so I think it's better to just have two black sources in case I have to hardcast an overlord later. Hey, it's an overlord. Yeah, I want that. Shifting woodland. Oh. Hey, Gaddock, what's up? Let's go. Resolves. Okay. Didn't expect that. There are three card types for shifting woodlands. Well. I was probably supposed to play that out. Oh well. I'm almost certainly wasting something. Just not sure what yet. Cunning Wish. Interesting. Force of Vigor. Okay, got it. So they're gonna go for killing Show and Tell plus Overlord, I guess. I'm just gonna take away amount of mana then. Okay. Also, they can't even cast Force of Vigor. I just realized. That's probably why they chose to stifle in the end, because they're like, wait a second. Sick. All right. There is hope yet. We went on a mold of 5. Did we change anything here? I don't think so. There's like a tiny bit of appeal for Lion Sash now that we know that they have shifting woodlands, but I don't even really know if they are. That feels like a backup plan. If like Omniscience gets thought seized or whatever, it doesn't seem like they're the main thing they're going to be doing. It does make the Fairy Macabre look a little bit better though, so that's nice. stop with the one landers. Oh my god. um it's a one lander and these phantoms don't even do anything. Yeah, I have to mulligan this. Okay, this has some stuff going for it at least. I'm probably just gonna get rid of the containment priest. Yeah. This hand's very slow, unfortunately, but what are you gonna do? Well, that's better. Just don't Veil Summer me, please. Yeah, I'm getting veiled. Oh well. Or maybe brainstormed. Brainstormed. Okay. Better than getting veiled. I guess if they had the veil, they would have had to get a trop there, so I have something I could wasteland. Interesting. This feels like if they left a show and tell on top, that's why the Atraxa is here. I think I'm gonna go for the Atraxa. Yeah, just make them have to assemble both halves of the combo. Felia or Bowmasters? Let's go for Felia. You would think Containment Priest is one of your better cards, pricey bottom. The reality is that Omniscience, like Omnitel specifically, will basically never just show and tell in a creature against DNT because they know that that's a losing line like 95+% of the time. So I have it in my deck for the like 5% of the time where they are forced to go for that because they're going to die and just can't find the Omniscience. But generally speaking, that's just not how the games end up going. I'm gonna Felia. Yeah, I think I just waste here. Okay, you have show. Oh, stock up. Okay. I'm gonna cast this now then. I'll just have fewer potential blue cards to pitch to this. Okay, resolves. I am going to cast Flicker Wisp here. The goal is going to be that I use the Wisp to flicker the Overlord. I will Felia the Flicker Wisp and then flicker out their islands, a lands, so that they just don't have a land on their turn. So Witch Enchanter being in the hands against Show and Tell is like one of the literally one of the only things that we can do um against show and tell into omniscience. It's basically like the very first thing I'm trying to do is get a witch enchanter into my hands. So starting the game with it in my hand is actually like pretty big. Let's get a bowmasters here. Yeah, absolutely. I've spent too much of my life losing to omniscience, so I'm used to thinking about this stuff. This is 11 damage. I can kind of make it 12. Or 13, actually, which will turn off the ancient team. That might end up mattering. And I could have found a Gaddock here, although I did not. I'm going to grab a Solitude, I guess. Hell yeah. Fuck omniscience. All my homies hate omniscience. Omniscience is unironically one of my least favorite cards ever printed for a long time. It was in my top 3, but then like 2024 happened, so I'm not sure if that's still true, but it's up there. So beating Omnitel feels very good. Um excuse me. Okay. So yeah, here is the list that I'm playing. I'm going to talk about it in a little bit more detail now. Um so I guess I'll start with the bands actually, and then I'll talk about the deck list. Bans happened. Entomb, Nadu gone. There is no love lost. I've argued for both of those cards to be banned before. I think they were both pretty much inevitable. Entomb is the only one that I think was like kind of, it was unsure what direction they were going to take with Reanimator because they had been banning around Entomb for so long, and I wasn't sure if they were going to continue that pattern. I was pretty strongly of the opinion that like they banned around Entomb for like a year and a half, basically, and they could not do it any longer. And I am glad that they agreed. I think they could have gone for something like Reanimate or seen what the effect of banning a card like Tameo had on Reanimator instead of banning Entomb if it had not taken this long for them to actually like fix things. It's just been the best deck for too long for them to take another half measure was my feeling. So I think banning Entomb was right. Nadu's a piece of shit. Get it out of here. I think keeping Tameo legal is somewhat surprising. Though I did see a take from someone, I don't remember who it was, who mentioned that like if you ban Entomb and Tameo, you can like talk about whether you're leaving like underground sea gamers like kind of in the lurch of like, well, we have now essentially killed both of your decks. It's like you can't play Reanimator because Entomb's gone, and you can't play Tempo because Tameo is an important part of why that deck works. Um, and I think Tameo will go, but also sort of understand them being like, even if there's like 3 or 4 other cards that probably should be banned, they won't completely reset the format before the European Eternal Weekend that's happening 2 weekends from now. Um I don't know how Mystic Forge got through unscathed. That's like the only question that I have about this. Like it It won 2 North American Eternal Weekends in a row with 3 total copies, or like 6 total copies across both top hits. Um, it's kinda crazy to me that the One Ring is still legal. I don't think it's going to be I doubt it will be legal past the February ban announcement. That could also, like, anyway, I basically, the my confusion is that, like, I think you should ban both the Nadu and the One Ring, but I think you should ban the One Ring first. And I'm guessing the tiebreaker, honestly, is, as I've said before, I think it's clear that Nadu Winged Wisdom is the card that Wizards would most be happy to unprint, just remove from existence. And I don't think that they think that way about most of their cards, especially nowadays. But I think they truly are just like, this card never should have existed. And as soon as it causes a an ounce of a problem anywhere, they just get rid of it. Um, so, so yeah, that's what I think. The One Ring should have been banned, but I am just happy to be playing a different format. I have seen so many other people excited to be playing a different format all over the place. I think it's great. My I hope they eventually unban Troll and Grief. I could see them unbanning Troll. Please do not unban Grief. Do not. They won't. They won't unban Grief, because that's a I think it's another Nadu thing where, like, I don't think they would unprint Grief, but I think they acknowledge that, like, especially in like the banning in Modern, when it like kind of didn't really need to be banned, but it was just like, this this card being legal really is not it's just not fun. I think Patrick Sullivan, in like a I think it was in like a an episode of the Unsleeved podcast or something like that, mentioned that, like, you can hem and haw about like whether or not Grief is too good and the effects that it has on the metagame. For a long time, Combo felt like it was like kind of unplayable because Grief wasn't around, and like and you can say whether or not that's a net good for like the health of the format, but like, also, I don't know, like, I don't like, I'm not interested in playing a game where like getting Grief scammed is a feature. It's just like, yeah, exactly. It's not too good. It's just too miserable. I agree. Like, it kind of like gets into arguments I've had about, like, I don't know, a lot of people love to talk about, like, mathematic, like the math behind, like, what does a healthy metagame look like. What's the threshold for how much a deck can be winning, how much a deck, like, um can be played, those kind of metrics. And I think those metrics are helpful, but I feel like they really get too far away from the idea that this is a game played by humans who have like feelings and emotions tied to the playing of the game, and that those are, to me, more important than the metrics around how much a deck is winning and being played. You can have a mathematically healthy metagame that is kind of miserable, and that's largely what Legacy has been for the past year. Like, obviously, Reanimator's the outlier there. Reanimator was clearly being played way too much and also too strong, but everything else is just like, it's just a bunch of stuff that like has reasonable matchups against each other and is completely miserable, just top to bottom. So, like, anyway, um so my deck. I just want to check, see how many people are how many matches are we waiting on? 4 more. Okay. Um so Reanimator's gone, Nadu's gone. Big thing with Reanimator is that, like, I don't even know if there's a huge need to play Graveyard Hate. We'll see how much Oops comes back. I have no idea if it will, but like, as of now, I think it's on the people playing the format to prove whether or not you really need like dedicated Graveyard Hate against something. DNT always has like a little bit because we have the Sash, we have Containment Priest always in the 95 somewhere. I have a single Fairy Macabre in my sideboard just to like hedge against things, so I have it as a recruiter target. Especially because there's been people playing Just breakfast seems like pretty easily adapt to not having Nadu, which I'm very happy about, honestly. So they're playing like an Esper Yorion list, I think is what Larson has been playing, and Fairy Macabre against that. When you know that they have to kill you through Cephalid Breakfast or through Cephalid Illusionist, I'm a little bit happier about having Fairy Macabre in my list than when I had it against Nadu. There's going to be a lot of One Ring decks around. That's probably going to be the card that defines a lot of what's going on. In if I had to guess, the other thing is going to be Cutter. Cutter looks a lot better than it did before. If for no other reason than because it has a very good Mystic Forge matchup. A couple things I've changed in my deck to respond to that. I've gone up to a full 4 White Orchid Phantom in the main deck. I cut, what was it before? It was oh right. Basically it was all the main deck graveyard hate cards just got turned into White Orchid Phantoms. The 2 Containment Priest and the 1 Fairy Macabre are all now White Orchid Phantoms. I also cut a Plains for a Savannah so that in the sideboard I can splash for Gaddock Teeg against the One Ring decks, mostly Mystic Forge and Blue Post. I have an extra flute in here. There's a Fairy Macabre, and then just a bunch of other stuff. This sideboard specifically is probably like heavier on removal than it needs to be. I'm kind of pulled in a couple different directions here. Have you gained any value from Split Up? Art looking like a split second spell. I have never cast Split Up yet. I have put it in my sideboards. I think I put it in like a paper sideboard for like 1 or 2 FNMs and like a league or 2, and I have never drawn it and cast it. So I have unfortunately gotten no value out of the card in any sense, let alone it looking like a split second card. But anyway, so there's a couple different things pulling me in some different directions here. I really like the pass. I think just having the 1 mana removal is really good. I also really like Wrath of the Skies, but the thing that I've been thinking about, Split Up was an idea from Jamie in the D&T Discord server because you just really need to have so much removal for Eldrazi specifically. And Split Up, it's the one nice thing about Split Up is that like if you're trying to cast a sorcery speed removal spell anyway, at least so much of their deck has haste now, so you can actually kind of imagine that a lot of their creatures are going to be tapped anyway. One thing that I want to try out is Prismatic Ending. It does have the kind of cost of you don't play it well against Eldrazi, but it's like okay against Mystic Forge, pretty good against Beans, pretty good against Cutter. Anybody trying to put like normal looking and permanents into play, basically. But I'm not sure where it would come from because like I feel like 5 removal spells is a lot, and I'm already playing 3 different ones, so it's hard to imagine where the 4th different one would come in. Like, if I was like I feel like the answer is going to be eventually I have to cut this back down to 4 removal spells. And if I do that, and it's like, well, maybe I only play like 1 Split Up. It's like, well, what am I cutting for a Prismatic Ending? Is it the Wrath of the Skies? Because the Wrath of the Skies is really good in the right matchups, you know. Whereas Prismatic Ending is always just like okay. So I don't know, but there's a lot to think about there. And yes, added value of Savannah on the Prismatic Ending, but you can cast it for 3 occasionally. Let me see how many are left. There's 1 left. Okay, I am going to be right back. Family's getting up. Got to help them. But I'll be back in just a couple minutes. Hopefully this match takes like exactly long enough for me to get this done. I'll be back. I'm back. I think I saw yes. Okay. All right. Almost a minute and a half. Cool. All right. Can I stop getting hands that look like this? I'm just gonna mulligan to 5 every game. I'll keep it. No, I need to find lands. Okay. Interesting, interesting. Am I getting doomsdayed? I'm getting doomsdayed. All right. What a nightmare. Notably, I'm not thinking about Doomsday when I'm putting 3 flutes in my deck, but I do have really appreciated how flexible flute is for like a fresh format when there's so many different things people could be trying to kill you with. Because, you know, I'm not going to put cards in my sideboard for Doomsday. The matchup sucks too bad, but like, it's nice to have flute for Doomsday or Thoracle or whatever. Okay. Let's see what you got over there. Fuck me. Shit. I can't imagine it matters, you know? Like, the whole point of these piles is that they kind of, yeah, their hand was 3 different cards. They just draw a card. So, no point. That Thoughtseize was doing nothing. Okay, let's do this. Do these, and then we're gonna cut some plas. Cut a no, I don't want to cut a prismatic. I'll cut a Caracas. Something like this. I don't know. There's always a lot of candidates to cut for matchups like this where removal isn't really doing anything. I'm not hungry to cut a land, so I can probably just do that and then maybe keep like 1 swords in, something like that. Does that look okay? Yeah, that looks fine. And no, the Gaddock Teague is not doing much. It's basically stopping Force Will. But that does more than what these cards do, so. I know that if I keep this, I'm going to Surveil and they're going to Dark Ritual Doomsday me again. Oh my god. Okay, I'm losing it. Stop. I mean, a Deafening Silence is barely even does anything outside of turn 1. I mean, I guess I keep it, but actually, I'm going to put the Phantom back. But like seriously, Shadowy Backstreet, stop. I will keep that. Wonder what they take here. I think that's what I would have taken. So makes sense to me. I'm gonna try to cast Deafening Silence and then waste them. Force of negation. Okay. Of course. I was really hoping like one of my spells could resolve profitably for me, but no. Um, I guess I take the. I guess LED kind of only matters in the pile anyway, huh? I'm guessing there's a Doomsday on top. No, there's not a Doomsday on top. A Riddler. Okay, that's different. I don't know why you're riddling me, but okay. Are they gonna Riddler off of LED? Oh my god. Okay, I guess. Of course. Maybe I was supposed to just cast Vial that turn. I don't know. I had no shot of anything this game, I guess. A lot of things I could have done differently. Maybe I just wasn't supposed to Wastelands, though I think it wouldn't have been so bad if they didn't obviously have Edge of Autumn in their deck, or in their hand at the time. Feed the Cycle, what is this? Interesting. They have a lot of weird ones in here. We'll see if Bowmaster gets them here. I think mathematically it can't, but maybe it will. I think I had to have Bowmaster in play like a turn or two ago. Yeah. Yeah, because now they go down to 4, and now they just have like a cycler. Yeah. I guess if I had a white card in hand, that might have been enough. Well, I got Doomsday. Now for some mana matrix. I'm gonna do a quick pass on this, and then I'll probably get up again for a little bit, but I'll be back soon. All right, so let's see. Color identity is blue-red. Oracle text is you control. It's a weird one. Toughness equals 0. O is you control. This would be... This would be like an XX... An XX card. So we could do Master of Ethereum. You control and color identity equals 2. I'll have to think about that one. I wouldn't like be that upset if Thassa's Oracle were banned, to be totally honest, but like I understand why they haven't. And I don't like playing against Doomsday, but like that match was a lot worse than that matchup is from my perspective, so all of this is Scars of Innistrad, huh? Fun. This is a tough one. This is a big category, but I'm having trouble like thinking about what. Oh wait. I had one and then I lost it. All right. Type sorcery and the color identity is blue-red. We could do Magma Opus. Type sorcery, toughness is 0. So that would be like a Beanstalk Giant. Do that one. Type sorcery, color indicators equals 2. We can do pest control for that one. This one is probably is definitely a lot easier. I think I'm probably like thinking too deep about this one. Oh right, because you can just this would just count like cards that are like enchant creature you control, right? So we could do like unflinching courage. These are all going to be pretty tough though, I think. I'm going to be back in a minute though. I will be back in a little bit. In the meantime, if you think of a card for any of these categories, please let me know. Just leave it in the chat with like, say 1A equals some card, and I'll come back to it in a little bit. Good morning, gang. I'm back. Let me check here. 4 matches in progress. All right. All right. I'm back. Hello. Anybody got ideas for any of these cards? I still feel like this category, I probably can get something out of it, but I just have no. Raptors Days, what's up? Good morning. Hello. Hope you're doing well. I feel like I should know something from this category. Got it. Flame of Anor. There we go. Choose 2 if you control a wizard at the time you cast the spell. There we go. Shadows over Innistrad is going to be really hard, though. Good morning, Sam. How's it going? What are the multicolored cards from Shadows? I literally just need one. Like any one. I just can't place it. How many are we up to? Still 4. Okay. Ongoing investigation. I will believe you. Shadows over Innistrad was the first set in the second block. It's the one before Emrakul gets imprisoned on the moon. So this is the set that Thraben Inspector is from. It's the set before Thalia's Lieutenant. It's the set with I think Duskwatch Recruiter is in this set if I remember right. Yeah, the first set with clues. That's right. Oh no, please, if you have a card that you're pretty sure fits in one of these, please let me know and I'll throw it in. Wandering Mind is Wandering Mind is one of the new Innistrad sets, I think. Like I think that's from Vow, maybe. Fraying Sanity. What would that one be for? Is that for blue red? Star Zombie guy. Yeah, that makes sense. Splinter Fright is the original Innistrad. Wandering Diregraph? That sounds... I tried Wandering, Lumbering, and Shambling, and it wasn't any of those. What if I just put in Diregraph? I'm sure that's not going to help. This is Dark Ascension. This Diregraph Colossus is not an XX, though it is. Actually, I think it might be from Eldritch Moon. Oh, Fevered Visions. That one I remember. That one I remember, yeah. It's crazy that there's 4 different 0 toughness creatures in a single set. Um, is alright, let me look at this. This card is a 2/2. I have played this card, it is a 2/2. I'm almost certain. I played this in a Pioneer deck at some point. I will be embarrassed if I'm wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that it is just a 2/2. It's a 2/2 that makes 2/2s when you make zombies, something like that. Newsgraph Mob. That, let me look at the art for that one. Okay, that does not spark any memories in me. It does look like it would be from this set, maybe. Although the tricorn there could make it Ixalan instead. This is the best bet I have right now. It does, yeah, it does look pretty Eldritch Moony, huh? Because like it is still the closest we have so far. We have 3 matches left. Okay. Yeah, they were. Yeah, Shadows had like occasional like hints at the cosmic horror aspects, but it wasn't as in your face as this one. Tireless Tracker. I actually don't remember which set Tireless Tracker was. I want to say it was Shadows. I believe Sam. Sam's played Tireless Tracker much more than I have, so. And you give it 2 more minutes. I think Altered Ego was Eldritch Moon. But I'm not certain enough about that to not put that in. We'll give it 1 more minute. Basically, we'll go, I'm going to submit once my system clock reads 8:30. But I think this is our best bet. Everybody, please also validate the ones that I put in the other categories. I think they're right. But please make sure. I guess it should probably show the names of the bottom cards also. Magma Opus is an instant. All right, cool. Literally every blue-red card I could think of. Why not use Expressive Iteration? That's a good point. Every good blue-red card that isn't banned kept being like, that's an instant, that's an instant, that's an instant. There we go. Unflinching Courage is enchant a creature you control, yeah. Though to be totally honest, I'm not 100% sure of that. If someone has a better choice of that, certainly let me know. This is a huge category. There's a lot of different ways to go about it. So 1C is Sterling Grove. Fires. You know, I like fires. I like fires. All right, I'm smitten. Did it. Nailed it. Thank you for the altered ego. Hell yeah. All right, let's do some quick check in here. Diregraph. Colossus is a 2/2. Hell yeah. Yes, it is a big for each zombie in your graveyard, and then you also get a zombie whenever you cast a zombie. Noose Graph Mob was Eldritch Moon. Unflinching Courage. Would have got that one wrong. Thank you for correcting me. And then yeah, Sterling Grove. That also makes sense. Enchantment you control. Other yep. All right, cool. We got there. Anyway, the challenge, yeah. 1-1. I beat Omnishow round 1 and then got completely dumpstered by Doomsday round 2. It was not close. I did not really get to make any decisions. I think there's one potential decision I could have made somewhat differently, but yeah, it was like it was the kind of game you imagine. I guess I should no. There were some things that happened in my 7 and then my 7 and my 6. My only untapped lands, only untapped colored sources were Shadowy Backstreets, all 3 of them. Maybe in the 7 I had a Caracas, but didn't matter. But yeah, my 7 in game 2 was like Wasteland. It was, I think it might have been literally just Shadowy Backstreet. And then my 6 was Wasteland Shadowy Backstreet. So I just never got to cast a spell on turn 1 in the post board games, and that was really cool. I kept that 6 because it had 2 Thoughtseizes in it for what it's worth, and a Wasteland. You know, it had one Thoughtseize. No, it had a Deafening Silence. It was the 7 that had 2 Thoughtseizes. Anyway, yeah, I did not get to do anything cool. I feel really good about the way that I played the Omnishow matches, though. I feel like I played those ones pretty tight. And at one point, my opponent Cunning wished for a Force of Vigor when I had a Gaddock Teague out, so that was fun. Starting playing a really goofy deck at FNM. You know, the right sideboard decks lowers. Yep. Been there. Man, this is a 60-person challenge. Hell yeah. Oh no. To my opponent. Moran, one opponent. Where are they? Oh yeah, Moran, my opponent's 0-2. Ah, yes. Blue decks are Green Sun Zenith thing for Grist again. Nature is healing. I wouldn't say Legacy is fixed, but Legacy is a lot better. That's right, Gorman. I forgot you played Yoran Zenith for a while. It was definitely, yes, it was definitely a move in the right direction and desperately needed. Speaking of Zenith. I am clicking the mulligan button a lot this morning. Apparently Badger Mole Cub? What the hell is that? Oh, this. That is a lot of mana. Interesting. All right, we're clicking the mulligan button. This looks better. Do I get greedy and put back a land? I would if I didn't have this Solitude, I would definitely just throw back the second Stoneforge. I'm thinking of keeping both Stoneforges so that I have an extra white card for the Solitude, especially because I have like all basics makes makes my mana pretty stable. I'm gonna try it. I could get punished for that choice, but I think there's enough. I think there is enough upside to getting a little bit greedy. And what if none of it mattered? Whoa. Sick. All right, come on. Nope. Okay. Yeah, their hand is hot trash, but we're probably dead anyway. But let's see. They're probably just gonna play another. Okay. I thought they were gonna play another land and then cast a noob's creature, but no, they just. What's going on? What is happening? Chat? Okay, I mean. These are all spell ones, right? Okay. This doesn't really feel like a winning. I'm so confused. Okay, sure. So, So, if I think I'm going to get another turn, and it feels like I am, I'm pretty sure the right play here is to. What do I want to do here, actually? No, I'm pretty sure we're supposed to. Whatever we do this turn, I think it's supposed to involve casting Thalia. So what I'm thinking is I'll cast Stoneforge for formal wear, maybe. Yeah, Thalia. Yeah, that's where I'm at. That is exactly what I am thinking. I am amazed. I mean, it's not what I need to be doing here, but it is exciting. All right, so let's use this formal wear. Get a recruiter. Recruit for a White Orchid Phantom. Cast White Orchid Phantom. And now I get to take them off of all of their mana while still dealing them 6 damage. Would Meteor Sword a permanent have been the play next week? I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. My initial reaction to Meteor Sword was not positive, but the more I think about it, the more maybe it's good. I don't know. I'm definitely going to be trying it for the content, if for no other reason, but this has to be some sick joke. This is so fucked up. Are you kidding me? They don't have Memories Journey in their list. Okay, hold on. I don't see a Memories Journey. Yeah, no Memories Journey, no Poxwalkers. That legitimately changes a lot about what I'm going to be doing here. Because the existence of I guess partially Poxwalkers, but mostly Memories Journey is why I didn't go for Sash. Let's get rid of the White Orchid Phantoms and the Skyclave, or the Bowmasters and the Skyclaves. Phantom Blade, 2 more cuts. Oh, whoops, I forgot to drag Priest over. Thank you. I might just have to cut some plows anyway. Without Poxwalkers, I think it's definitely worth noting how much more viable it is to win via just like casting like 2 removal spells when one of them's a Solitude on their combo turn, but I don't think it's good enough to keep it in over any of these other cards, really. Maybe Overlord is one that we could cut instead of Plow. Or like trim one and keep 2 plows in, because it's a hard card to utilize. I could cut a Crocus too, actually. I like that. Let's try that. Yeah, that looks reasonable. Nope. This'll work. Let's keep this. What am I even putting back? Maybe it has to be the Gaddock Teague. But maybe I don't need a Wasteland and 2 White Orchid Phantoms. The ley lines were cut for Fairy Macabre, 2 Deafening Silence, and another removal spell, which right now is taking the form of a split up. Yeah, I'm going to put back the Wastelands. Mm-hmm. One Narco is Chrome Moxed. They're bolting that one in. I don't love that. Thoughtseize. Okay, I can live with that. Okay. I do have a Fairy Macabre in here. Fairy Macabre into Gaddock Teague. Yeah, I gotta keep this. I would like to have something to do on turn 1, but there's just only so much that I have for that. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna look at this whole graveyard. Narcos. There's one Dread Return right there. This Thus Oracle was under that Narcobabe. So Thassa's Oracle. Dread Return. It looks like that's it. I don't think they sideboarded a single card. All right, chat. Is there any reason I'm just gonna let them cast the Dread Return? I'm pretty sure. I guess if they go for Cabal Therapy, well, it's the same thing. But yeah, okay. Exile the Thoracle, and there's no Memories Journey, right? There's no Memories Journey. Just Narcomoebas, Pact Negations, and the Thoracle. Yeah, okay. I will get rid of the Cabal Therapy, I guess. Oh, okay. Sure. That felt like a budget list. I don't know. I'm a little confused. No Poxwalkers, no Memories Journey. No, like the Memories Journey Jack-o'-lantern package is like the whole point of that package is so that you just like that's very weird to me. That list won a challenge before the bans. I don't know how that's possible. Fairy Macabres were everywhere, and that list can't beat a Fairy Macabre unless the Thoughtseize is at first. You can't even duress it. Yeah, that's insane. That I am sorry. That deck list looks like trash. I am shocked it won a challenge. The board was Besiege Belcher. That makes sense to me. I don't know why my opponent didn't go for it, but Whatever. Not going to sweat it too much. I'm still just like a little surprised by that. Looking at some art game now. I got to figure out the right query for a custom game at some point. Well, this is from Portal 3 Kingdoms. And that's all I know. This is Guan Yu. That's all I got. No one's going to get this one. Let's be real. All right. Okay. Might be a vehicle of some sort. Looks like a chariot. I'm getting Crimson Vow vibes from this, but yeah. I don't have to catch Honeymoon Hearse. All right, sure. Yep. What the fuck is this? Literally, is this a Spider-Man? I'm upset. Whatever this is, Mr. Negative. Okay, sure. I mean, that makes sense looking at the art. I assume it's just, yeah, okay. Oh my god, we can't. How did we get 2 cards in a row featuring suits? I assume this is a Doctor Who one of some sort. Yeah, okay. Now we're talking. An inscrutable land. It suits the theme of the stream. That's a good one. Good one. I can't really place this land in a set or like a plane. Other than that, it's old and I like the vibe. It's not an underground river art, is it? It does have Tempest vibes, yeah. Oh. This was new drowned catacomb art for Lord of the Rings. I mean, I thought this was 20 years older than that. But that looks kind of cool. I like that art. Blighted Sickle. I like it. Blight Sickle. Close enough. Plus something, whether that makes sense. Oh, this is this is played. Is this Bonder Ornament? Or am I thinking of something else? This card was played in Pauper, whatever it is. Yeah, Bonder's Ornament. All right, cool. Perfect. Is this card banned still? I don't remember. Yeah. All right, cool. This I am sure it's really funny to people who don't play Pauper to imagine this card bans, but yeah, this card was too much. I don't know if it still would be. It really was only a problem because Tron was good at the time, but the last thing you need is cards that make Tron good. So this looks like it's from Urza Saga. I got nothing. Rescind. Yep, Urza Saga. All right. Yeah, I think it is like a testament to the art direction in older sets, especially that like even when you don't know what the card is, you can immediately put a lot of them. You can immediately put them into a set. Same. Drifting Shade. Okay. That was too fast. Oh, Orochi Hatchery? Is that the right name of this? It's something Hatchery or something Orochi? There we go. This piece is very cool also. I assume this is a literal Golgari card, but I'm not certain about that. Excuse me. OG Rav Golgari, yeah. You don't know the name. Rot Farm Skeleton. Not OG Rav. It was Dragon's Maze. I think that's why none of us remembered it. What a forgettable set Dragon's Maze was. It is Confounds. You're right. What Eldrazi is this? My gut tells me this is an MH3 Eldrazi, not Oath. Is this Fleshraker? Does Fleshraker just have a lot more color to it than I thought? It is. Okay. I don't know. For some reason, I think I just like think that I think it's because I have played against Fleshraker so much more online, and the colors just do not come through on the client. I think that's what was throwing me off. Ember Beast, yes. Okay. And an AFR goblin of some sort, I guess. Still on 5, huh? Okay. Oh, we'll do gut trees all develop. Yeah, okay. Oh my god, it's too early in the morning. Season Legendary, there we go. Triskaidekaphobia. There we go. Cool. All right. We're on a roll. We're on a roll. No idea on this one. Yeah, I don't know why that's buried into my brain. I don't know if this is a card, but it's what I'm going to put in unless someone has a better name for it. Hermit of the Netternolls. It's a weird name. I assume this is from Invasion block. Other than that, I have no idea what's going on here. Saproling a Symbiosis. You got it. And it was Invasion, the set, not just the block. Is this... No. I was thinking this could be Thassa's Intervention, but that's not right. Oh yeah, there's Hedrons. This is from Zendikar. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get this. I'm over it. Skyclave Plunder. Yeah, okay. I assume this is from Battle Bond, and that I have no idea. Got it. Yikes. This is Tempest coded for sure. Necrotog sounds right. Yep. Weatherlight, actually. What is this planeswalker's name? Oh my god. Vivian Reed, thank you. I was gonna put Vivian, yeah. M20 version, okay. Skirk Trumpeter. Sounds right to me. Warbreak Trumpeter. Got everything else right on it. Kaladesh. Feels like cheating. The set symbol is literally in the art. I have no idea what this is, though. Conviction? That kind of makes sense to me. You got it. It's actually Aether Revolt. Is this Tongarth? I don't know if it's a... I feel like the Tongarth art that I can see in my head, he looks different than this, but I don't remember. I'm not confident enough in that. It's Zendikar Minotaur, really? I don't get Zendikar vibes from this. I feel like it flips coins. That doesn't seem very Minotaur-y. All right, we're going. Zarapa Minotaur. It loses first strike. Got another AFR alt art. I'm going to be... Let me know what you guys think this is. I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, I'm back. Still one match? All right. All right. Nobody had anything. I'm skipping it. Varus? Yeah, whatever. I'm over it. Is this... Is it Elder Green Dragon? Whatever that cycle was, also from AFR. We're hitting a lot of AFR today, apparently. Could be Crimson Dragon. I don't know. I don't remember. Canopy Gargantuan. This was a commander-only card. Nobody was getting it. What the hell is this? I assume this is from, like, one of the recent Phyrexia sets. This does not look 40k to me. This is definitely not like a Chaos vehicle. Or Necron. Necron would be green. Green and Egyptian. All right, I got 1 minute on this card. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this is some Phyrexian thing. All right, we're out of it. MH3 Commander. Sure. All right, we'll put Lava Golem in there real quick. Oh, it's Coal Golem. Oh my god, I am such an idiot. Cancel me. Cancel me for saying Lava Golem instead of Coal Golem. Oh my gosh. Kind of mid on the play, on the draw, but we'll try it. Got it. Okay, 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 we're getting somewhere. Don't love my chances right now, but in my league in which I'm currently 3-0, one of my wins was against Mystic Forge. So not with a hand like this. This hand probably probably eating shit against them here, but what you getting? Liquid metal coating? Daring, aren't we? Fuck you. Are you kidding me? That there is not a worse card to have on top of my deck right now. I'm so mad. Where's Meteor Sword? I mean, I'm so upset. We do have to keep it. Our literal only plan here is to just cast Stoneforge and hope that they don't lattice us. Actually, the really fucked up thing is we can't even Cauldron next turn because they can key to untap the coding, so they get to kill one land and then code in the other one in our upkeep. But we'll see if they no, because we can put the never mind. We can put the Cauldron in our upkeep. So or no, because one of the lands will be dead. Yeah, so we're locked out. We're locked out of the game if they care to do so. Yeah, at least this is happening in game one. They must be Kozilek's commanding, but that seems worse to me than just coding me. I don't know. I guess they also get to code me. Is the problem. And yeah. This is sick. I love it. Yeah, we're out of here. I'm done. All right. I remember struggling a bit to identify the cards to take out when I was playing against it earlier. I think I was getting dangerously close to just cutting the entire Stoneforge package, and that might be what I choose to do here, to be totally honest. It is hard to argue with how clean this is. But it will be a little bit complicated to see if that's still true. If this is still what we want to do in a world where Meteor Sword is legal, but I'm going to go for this. I mean, tell me you get to take the Dismember. They're a Grim Monolith away from casting a turn 1 ring, but like chat, cross your fingers. All of you cross your fingers. I demand it. My heart. Get the fuck out of here. It's kind of crazy that my opponent's drawn 4 lands. But I guess now it barely even matters. Oh, I should have played the Caracas there. That was wrong. I just clicked the land too quickly. I'm sorry, Romario. I should have warned you. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, they're over it. All right, that I have never beaten Forge. My opponent just 80 cards dotted me. This hand is not nearly as good, especially on the draw. I think we have to. My opponent's going to 6. I think I need to join them because I think I just need. How many turn 1 impactful cards do I have? It's just 4 Thoughtseize, 2 Deafening Silence. Yeah, this hand's just too mopey. This hand is 2 colors of mana away from being incredible. They're going to 5, so I could go to 5 with them. Any fetch lands unlocks this hand pretty well, although we kind of need 2 fetch lands because we want the Savannah and a black source. Yeah. Yeah, it's a question of whether, like, the speculative keep. There's a lot of upside to this hand, but when they're already on 5, is it better to just try to find a hand that will lock them out? But maybe we just can't play those kind of games. I will keep it. I'm gonna think about this a little bit more. So if I'm keeping, I'm putting back the Overlord. We can at least cast a Vial on turn 1. So we have two draws to find any green any non-white source, basically. And we have 11 fetch lands, 3 duels, 1 basic, 2 what's it called? 2 backstreets. Laura 66, thank you for the follow. Vista doesn't count fatigue, but at least getting black mana would be important. Um, let's just do some math real quick. So yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17. We have 19. I realistically 17 draws. That might just not be enough with this hand, unfortunately. I guess just the question of, is it a disaster if I don't? Yeah, maybe I do just have to keep it, and maybe it doesn't work. Yeah, okay, I'm just going to keep it. A 5-card hand that I would want would just be able to definitely cast a Thoughtseize or a White Orchid Phantom or Gaddock Teeg. Any one of those 3, basically, is where I'm at. Grim Monolith, okay. All right. Well, if they're turn 1 ringing me, then nothing I did mattered. All right. Yeah, literally nothing in our deck deals with this. So this was a rough matchup to be on the draw and or to lose the coin flip, the die roll, whatever it may be. Nice mulligan to 5. Also, like, well, we would have been able to do something. Why is the One Ring still legal? I was talking about it earlier. Like I sort of understand from the perspective of like with with Eternal Weekend still coming up, we didn't want to do like a full reset of the format. But oh my god, the One Ring really needs to leave. We can go back to the Mark game. We've had this card recently on Art Game, but I don't remember what it was. Yeah. Oh my god, I clicked skip 1 frame too late. Oh right, it is from Foundations. I remember that. I remember that now. That is the Weatherlight. This is this Opportunity? I don't think this is Opportunity. Sisei's Gambit. Airtie's Meddling. It's different. A different Weatherlight Saga character's other action. Vivian is shooting something. I don't know what's happening here. This is not giving good vibes. Tandem takedown. Okay, sure. This is this Taigam scheming? Yeah. The original Otherworldly Gaze, right? Yeah. This is from Shards of Alara. Thank you. Filigree Sages, yeah. I was like, as soon as someone says the name, I'm gonna be like, yes, that's it. But I could not come up with it. I mean, this is Neo, but that's Reality Shift. Okay, that makes sense to me. All right, cool. What is this? Neat. Where is this? It's 2018 artist signature. So maybe this was something for War of the Spark, potentially? Yeah, it does look like Ravnica. I think War of the Spark would make sense, but I can't think of what this card is. Kaladesh was too early. Kaladesh was 2017. It came out in 2017, so an artist signature on it would probably be more like 2016. Wildfire Elemental. It was M20, which I think technically took place. It might have taken place in Ravnica. Although it could be Kaladesh too. Okay, speaking of Kaladesh. It's dispensing tickets. What does that mean? Oh, this is Aether Drift. Okay. That makes more sense. Putting a ticket better. Ticket Tortoise. Of course. Oh, which Scorpion is this? Never mind. It's not the one I'm thinking of. There's a Scorpion from, I think it's from Rise of the Eldrazi. But that one has a bit more of a red background than this one. And yeah, this icon on the head too. Cycle Scorpion. Man, there's so much downtime because we've played against 4 combo decks. Has a name of some kind, surely. I like that. Cycling Skeleton. Or Cycling Scorpion. Wasteland Scorpion. Checks out. I feel like I recognize this, but I don't know why. Yeah, Brothers War makes sense. I'm hearing something. My dog might need help. I'll be back in a little bit. Let me know if anybody thinks of this card. All right, I'm back again. Dogs are out. Nobody's got it. Power Stone Engineer. It is Brothers War. Well, that's Volrath. But other than that, I have no idea. Could be. It's good enough for me. Nope. Wow, this card looks like fucked up and limited. I think I've heard that Tempest limited is like way too fast, but like this in a normal limited format, like, oh my god. This is which sliver is it? It's not Plague Sliver, is it? Oh, it's just high. I'm thinking of some. Okay, never mind. I'm thinking of something else. This is something Hellkite. This was from Cons or Tarkir block. I don't know if it was Cons or Tarkir. Um, I'm pretty sure it's something Hellkite. Um, Swift Warkite. It was Warkite. Damn. This is 40K. I think this is oh wait, who's the was there a card for Corn? No. Okay, it's a Bloodthirster demon. Okay, that's what it is. I think this is Ixalan. This looks like 2016 in the artist signature. There's a core set card. Interesting. Okay. That can't be true. This came out during a, or I guess I don't want to say for sure, but based on the artist's, based on the date on the signature, this came out at a time when core sets didn't exist. Let's see. It is from Commander Legends. We're all wrong. Oh, Spell Crumple. Madcap Experiment? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Reviving Dose. That works for me. Reviving Vapors. Right, okay, yeah. Yep. It's original Modern Horizons 1 card, right? Yeah. It's not bringing joy. We're skipping it. Yeah, Mom Commander. Yeah, okay, we're good.
Why does this look so familiar? For some reason, my head is saying that this is from. It's from the course Pyromancer's Gauntlet. Okay. Is this from the core set that they had guest designers? Okay. It is, but it's not one of the guest designer cards, right? Because this is one of them, right? No. Never mind. There's an amulet. Anyway. I think that was M14 that they had the guest designer cards. Yeah, Tarkir does make sense. Sultai card. Anyway, got ideas? I have no idea what that card would be named. I'm over it. Necropolis Fiend. Okay. Whatever this is, it's big. I also was thinking Conflux, but I couldn't tell if I was just thinking that because it reminds me, like I want to say Godsire, even though I know it's not Godsire. I don't think it's Godsire anyway. The art is kind of giving Grixis, isn't it? Like, is it some big unearthed idiot? Let's see. Shore Snapper. This thing in that art looks a lot bigger than a 2/2, but now I understand the perspective. No. It's a green-red legendary from March of the Machines. Maybe. Not sure why. Can't put my finger on it. Yeah, me too. Yeah, okay, whatever. That's a card that exists. It is not the oil friend. It was black. It was black green. I've just listened to the music. I have no idea what yeah, this definitely Theros. I don't know that I've seen this art. I'll give you a minute for Delta Victor. Let me know if you got it. All right, we're off at. It's just lava. Is Doctor Who the opposite of Theros? I present to you this. Seller of songbirds. I think that should have counted. It's actually kind of cool. That art looks older than RTR, but I like it. Yeah, that was a spiritual win. Stone Tongue Basilisk. Oh, right. This was the one that was in Arabic. Hell yeah. Yeah, what the hell? What is this? It's okay. I don't mind when chat leads me astray because, like, a lot of times they're leading me astray on cards that I don't know anyway. So it's better to have a guess than no guess at all. And some of them are close enough that they count in my head. This looks cool, whatever it is. I like the perspective here. Almost certainly Innistrad. I'm getting the vibes of Shadows Eldritch Moon, but I'm not certain about that. You know, I like that as a guess. I'm guessing it's not right, but I like that as a guess when I can't come up with any other card name. We're going for it. Visions of Dread. It's from Midnight Hunt Commander. I do not want to read the text of that card. What the fuck is this? What is happening here? Oh, this is Greg. Is Greg doing okay? He looks a little sick. Sangir Embrace, yes. Or it's Vampiric Embrace. It makes it a Baron Seigneur. I'm skipping this because I really don't want to look at this guy's mouth anymore. It's from Guild Pact. Okay, sure. This kind of has 40k vibes. This what's the it's a Mirrodin land. Okay. Oh, we had 2 minutes to figure out which Mirrodin land it is. It also feels red green to me. It is in fact black green. I don't think that's a bridge, but oh well. What? We'll get back to that. You know what? No, we don't have to get back to that. I'll just skip it now. We'll leave the next one as a surprise. Okay. Finally on the plate. Oh god, it's a Yoran mirror. Oh boy. Oh boy. I would like to keep a 7. Ever. Okay, I can keep this one. We'll put the duplicate Felly on the bottom. It is in fact the mirror. I have to take that Aether Vial. There's no shot I'm beating it, really. I can't beat any of this hand, honestly. This sucks. I think I can't. The only reason I'm even thinking about not taking the vial is because Felia kind of keeps the vial in check, but I think I just have to take it. This is going to be horrible. I'm probably. I mean, obviously, the nature of this matchup is that game ones tend to go for forever, but my opponent's hand just looks remarkably better than mine. So, okay, mine's looking a little bit better. So you're saying there's a chance. Did they draw a Bowmaster? No. Please don't have drawn a Bowmaster. Okay, it's just the Felia. Okay, they're just gonna trade Felias. I'm okay with that. That's so fine. Um So they have Recruiter and Skyclave. What does that make me want to get? I'm just going to get a Stoneforge, I think. Next turn, we can Stoneforge for Formal Wear, play Vile, and Surveil, and we'll have Solitude up while doing all of that. So that feels like a really good use of our next turn. They get their own Solitude. It's fine by me. That's pretty good, too. I don't have to use it right now, thankfully. Maybe it's a reason to. I guess what are they gonna do? They would have to draw a Flicker Wisp for me to really care about casting the Plow now. Yeah, I'm just gonna cast the Aether Vial. I do not need that in my hands. I probably should have offered the trade there, actually. Are they just gonna Witch Enchanter my Vial? That's my assumption on why they are fetching now. They could also just be double spelling. Solitude pitches the Witch Enchanter. Okay. Okay. Okay, that makes more sense. They mill Stoneforge. So Stoneforge, Solitude, Felia. They take the Solitude. Okay. Do I want to take that trade? So they hand a Skyclave, Solitude, something else. I think I take the trade because I want like Feliaing Formal Wear to have a potential target other than more Felias. Yeah. It also gives me the option to just Formal Wear back Recruiter instead. Yeah, that's why you weren't supposed to do that attack. That's so good for me. What? You have Stoneforge? Okay, sure. I assume they get their own Formal Wear, yeah. That was very weird. So they can Formal Wear for Stoneforge or Ophelia. I assume they get another Stoneforge, and I'm not really that worried about another Stoneforge. I kind of just want to be mana efficient and just slam the Solitude. Just Solitude the Stoneforge. Oh, that's true. We could Formal Wear Felia, have Caracas up, and just plow the Stoneforge instead. That's still pretty mana efficient. Yeah, okay, I like that. I have to remember I have to make these decisions pretty quickly in this matchup. All right, I'll get Ophelia back. Swords the Stoneforge, and we'll move on. Yeah, I guess this does make our top decks. Oh my god. Our top deck's a lot more volatile. Why are they getting their own Felia? I'm a little confused by that. So I'm just going to bounce their Felia here. Because I think my guess is what they're doing here is they're going to just like flash it back in later, but then I have the Solitude for it, so yeah, that's fine. Because I can also vial this Felia back in now, so my mana isn't so constrained. And that's even better. I just get their Caracas out of here. Yeah, I'm a little confused about their choices there. Another Stoneforge. Okay. Phantom Blade, probably? Maybe they get Lion Sash. I would not get Cauldron if I was them. Yeah. So their hand is Sash and Felia. I think I'm just going to vial my Felia in. I think I'm keeping Solitude. Yeah. I guess I could cast Solitude because I have the Caracas for their Felia still. But I'm not super excited about solituding any of these things, I think. So I think I'm going to hold on to it for now. I guess I'll just keep drawing removal. I guess I'm equipping and not blinking anything. Feels weird, but true, another one. Okay. I guess. Yorion's in their hands. They have Yorion, Sash, and Felia. That's nice. I forgot. I meant to take that up. That was a mistake. But this is definitely a good card to be drawing here. Oh, no, this was wrong, actually. I think I needed to Solitude. I forgot that my opponent can literally just Yorion me next turn. I think I just needed to Solitude, Flicker Solitude on at least probably the Stoneforge and the Recruiter. They are bouncing my Felia. Okay, that resolves. All right, so I guess I was only going to get to cast Solitude, and that's it anyway, so. Just please don't have drawn another land. Okay, cool. This is pretty brutal. Am I killing anything before they blink it? I think I'm gonna get rid of the recruiter. Yeah, I would be in a much better spot if I hadn't misclicked my vial here. I think my vial being on 4, or being on 3 instead of 4 is going to be a big problem here. They get their Phantom Blade. They're just getting all their equipment out. Okay. A little Solitude. No, they're just getting a Solitude. No question there. Dilson Menezes. I forgot that right. Hello, welcome. Solitude, Pitches Felia. Okay, I assume that's going on Arfelia. Yeah, okay. Can I draw like Witch Enchanter? If I could draw like Witch Enchanter, that would be great here. That's kind of like a Witch Enchanter. I guess. So I can recruit for a Witch Enchanter, vial it in to kill the Overlord, and then Phantom Blade the Yorion. I think that's our best bet here. It doesn't really matter. So they can Cauldron me, but like we're pretty far from that mattering, and I'm gonna have my own kind of busted Yorion turn next, so. Skyclave on my vial. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think it's have to pass here. I'll pass and I'll Solitude the Cauldron token and maybe get a favorable block, we'll see. Might be casting Sash. Yeah, okay. Does that do anything? Not really, no. Bad time to draw a land, that's for sure. I'm just gonna put some more. I don't want to put it on the Solitude because they'll just Phantom Blade it, so I'll spread the love a little bit. Hey Tulak, how's it going? Yeah, I was not Oh yeah, I don't know why I didn't play the land. That was silly. Yeah, Killing Solitude is right here. Yep. Okay. Life has been good. Oh my god, they've been holding the thoughts is fuck. Emperor Bones. I need Emperor of Bones in my deck right now. I am probably I'm pretty much dead. Yeah, the misclicking on the vial uptick has completely destroyed us here, unfortunately. I need Emperor of Bones or Wrath of the Skies in my deck. Otherwise, we're cooked. And to think that I feel like this should not be close, but my opponent made a couple pretty weird choices. That is... Yeah, we're just dead, so we should just go to the next game. These games take forever anyway. How much do I board here? 3 flutes might be a lot. Yeah, we can just not bring in split up. We can just call it there. Can I keep 7? I can keep 7. I don't think there's much of a point in casting the Felia here. Yeah, I'm just going to take my Violet too. No reason to expose it to Plow when we have Crocus up. I'd much rather just untap and wasteland them. Don't play any other creatures. Maybe we're supposed to keep that on 3, actually, I'm not sure. Or keep that on 2. So I think I just want to I can basically trade the failure for the stone forge, or I could skyclave the no right now because I can't nothing none of that lines up how I want it to. So I think I just want to I guess I don't even need to trade, right? Because I can Caracas my failure after flickering it. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Just get Stoneforge out of here. We'll see if they go for the block. I assume they will. Yeah. Play this untapped. I think that I want to Stoneforge here, but I'm not certain. No, I'll keep Felly up. Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like if they solitude their own containment priest, then the vial's active. Yeah. Overlord. Okay. Recruiter or Stoneforge. They get Recruiter. Okay. Do I just do it again, chat? Like, do I just keep doing it until they don't let me anymore? Yeah, if they fly out here, I think that's okay. Okay. Um, what do I want to do here? I think I'm going to. Since they've used the plow, I think I'm going to try to get value out of the Stoneforge this turn. I'm gonna go for Phantom Blade because it's pretty close to casting it too. And then next turn, my plan is probably like if they play something, I will Skyclave the Containment Priest and then Violent the Solitude. If they thought sees me here, I think that's okay too. Vial's fine. I'll keep that on top. I guess I'm just passing. Like I can Phantom Blade the Containment Priest at instant speed if I need to. You were supposed to board that out. I guess I don't know what's in their sideboard, but not usually a card you're excited to be playing post board. It's not embarrassing, but it's not good either. Recruiter. Okay. They get a Flicker Wisp. Okay. So I think this is where we just end the game, I think. Yeah, cool. Just immediately put in 2 more permanents that can get flickered by Yorion, and they're like just irrevocably behind after that point. This hand's kind of clunky, but we're on the draw, so reasonable chance of drawing more lands. We don't really lose to a whole lot with this hand. Yeah, I think this is a keep. Is this a Thoughtseize or a Vial? Vial, okay. I have the Wrath for that, and I'm not putting anything in play anytime soon. Oh, I have a Disruptor Fleet for it too. That's cool. I am going to surveil here. It feels a little greedy, but I really want to hit my land drops. That's not a land. That is a land. It's cool. Well, don't double wasteland me, okay? I think I'm just going to flute this vial now. Yeah. As soon as the vial's on 2, I think it starts looking a lot worse for me, so. I point out that you had that Thoughtseize earmarks for solving specific problems. Yep, I think that literally the way you use your Thoughtseize in the mirror is like a key part of what makes or breaks like a. I think it's what determines an okay D&T player versus like a great D&T player is the way you use your Thoughtseizes. And in that game, that Thoughtseize was that Thoughtseize was at every point in that game only ever going to all right get the Yorion. My opponent might be fellying me here. What's the worst that happens? I guess they're going to flicker out my flute to turn on the vial. I think it's hard to like just like throw a Swords to Plowshares away at the prospect of like. Yeah, that's fine. At the prospect of like preventing 1/8 their vial activation, especially if all they're doing here is actually just blinking their Bowmasters. That's like nothing. Yeah, okay, this is nothing. I wonder if this is enough for me to Wrath for 2, honestly. Especially now that I drew other lands. I got rid of. It's basically a 3 for 2. I guess basically a 2 for 1 is I think the right way to put it because the flute and the vial are currently canceling each other out. But this will keep the vial from ever mattering instead of giving them the opportunity to like skyclave it or they draw a good card to Felia or whatever. So I think this is a good time to just clear the board. Yes, it does. That's true, right? It gets the Felia out of play. It doesn't kill it, but I think this simplifies things. So do I just cast it for 1 then? Keep the flute in play They have the Bowmasters, but I don't really care about that. Yeah, Bowmasters can stay in play. I think that's fine. I need to play this as a land. I don't think I need it untapped, though. I'm going to cast Sash. Am I casting Sash? I am going to cast Sash. Okay. What I might do, I guess I know I did. I would have had to have bolted in my land. Actually, never mind. Thoughtseize. I think I'm just gonna flash in the Felia here. Yeah, I'll make them respond to this. Take a plow. Okay. Plow mine. Okay, that's fine. Oh, I guess this. No, this was bad. Yeah, because now my Sash just dies. I guess I should have blocked because now my Sash is just dying. No, this was bad actually. Here I could Skyclave the Felia to force a bounce that can block the Bowmasters. I could also Swords if the Felia fell. I can't Skyclave and Swords and pick up Yorion. I'm a mana off of that, so I have to choose between whether I am dealing with the Felia finally or if I'm picking up Yorion. My heart says pick up Yorion. I think that's what I'm going to do. Because if I can flip this flute to put it onto Caracas, that will also be important for dealing with this Felia. You have another Bowmasters. No blocks. If that's what you're spending your mana on here, deal. Obviously, I'm getting pretty low, but I think having the permanent in play is just too important. Do I go to 5? I think I do go to 5 here, honestly. Whew, okay. So what if I take the Solitude and then flute Skyclave Apparition? I feel like that puts me in a really good spot, actually. Thoughts like take the Solitude, Yorion, turn the flute, skyclave. Yeah, yeah. Okay, this is good. This is very good. I'll have to be off camera for a bit. Finally. I might have messed this up, Chad. I can't tell. I guess I'm actually not sure if it was worse to let them vindicate me versus. Yeah, I'm not sure. Them having the plow for my Yori on the turn before I drew Crocus is really brutal, though. Maybe I feel like there's something I could have done differently here, but I just can't figure it out. Oh my god. We got there, but Jesus, that was complicated. I thought that that third game was over when I had my Yoram, but then like they just had the right mix of removal to slow me down long enough for their Vial to tick up, and then Vial ticked up and complicated the game the same way it always does. Yeah, they were very hard. Yeah, I played too many mirrors to like stomach losing, so I'm glad I got there. But man, that was tough. Literally, what the fuck? Between putting back the Caracas and the Skyclave, or the Caracas and the Felia, I think I'm not sure which. I think I want to put back the Felia and just like be somewhat safe against. Putting back. Oh no, no, sorry, you're right. Putting back the Surveil is what I meant by the Caracas, not the Caracas. Um, it's between the Surveil and the Felia. It's like the. I am going to keep my mana. This isn't the best Felia hand unless my opponent's like playing Forge anyway, and I want a White Orchid over and over and over again. So we'll see. Interesting. Pretty sure I just take Brainstorm here. Yeah. I could see taking Murktide. I think that's also totally reasonable. Um, I like knowing what my opponent's doing the whole time, but yeah, I also see how like we don't have anything for a Murktide right now and probably won't for a while. It helps a little bit that my opponent immediately got their basic island, so our White Orchid Phantoms are going to be Stone Rains. All right, we found it. Obviously, never didn't have it, right? I literally cannot remember the last time I raced Delver, like, ever. Also noticed that boarding against them with Felia is, like, really hard because I don't really know how many Felias and Overlords I'm supposed to have. It feels like it's the only cards that I can cut for removal, but I'm not I could be wrong about that because there's also the Thoughtseizes, but I've had a hard time figuring out. Yeah. I don't know if you wanna cut all of them, but I also it's hard to say. Maybe they're just, like, so aggressive I can't take the life loss anymore. I'll try no Thoughtseizes. We'll see how it goes. Chat, how do we feel about wastelanding that Thundering Falls? I feel like they probably don't have might have not have another colored source since they played this wasteland. All right, I'm back. Joy needs a lot of help today. This streamer sounds a lot like Evan. Hi, Aishinos. All right, super rewarded. Yeah, the Thundering Falls into a wasteland was pretty telling, I think. Okay, we really need to stop drawing lands though. Do I waste their waste? I kind of want to do that now. Let's keep them on 0 mana sources so they can't like play another cutter if they find one. Um, they're not going to be able to deal with my Stoneforge either way. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Probably the best reason not to is it means that I couldn't next turn go like recruit a Skyclave and kill the cutter, but wow, that's messed up. I'm really tempted to recruit a White Orchid Phantom, and that they haven't like had a chance to daze or force anything since. So I think that's just going to get countered, and then I'll be sad. I was also supposed to fetch. Oops. If only I had a Bowmaster here, damn. So anyway, I think this game is probably over. I think they're cooked. A little hard to imagine them coming back from this one. I think the way they win is they have another red source and double bolt me, so I'm getting 2 solitudes here, so I can just gain like 5 life. Yeah, okay. They just had like 3 bolts in hand, was like bang, bang, bang. Anyway, I'm also like kind of here, but I might have to turn my camera off again anyway. All right, well, yeah, 6 rounds. All right, we ended 4-2. We played against a fucking ringer from DNT's perspective. Like, oh my gosh, Joy. All right, I'm back. Anyway, we beat, what was it? It was Omnitel. What was it? Omnitel, Doomsday, Oops, Forge, the Mirror, and Cutter. So like our first 4 rounds were basically hell. So we got 2-2. We lost rounds 2 and 4. So pretty unlikely. Let me see where so this is the Forge player I lost to, so them being at 3-3 is pretty bad for me. And the Doomsday player I lost to, 3-2 dropped. So yeah, not looking good for my breakers at all. I'll probably top 16, but definitely not top 8ing. Let's look at the list. I still have yet to cast a split up once. I mean, we just played against a bunch of combo decks, so it's not like that surprising. Gaddock Teague got the most decisive win against the Forge I've ever had in my life, so that was cool. I feel like it's still too much removal in here, but also I think it's a lot easier to cut stuff like the split ups in a world where there's less Eldrazi, so we'll see. Um, mainly played the split ups because I just keep queuing into Eldrazi in leagues over and over and over again. But I wasn't in this challenge. At least I didn't run into it, so who knows? But yeah, I think the two big questions that we're gonna have going forward are figuring out like the right suite of removal to play, um, and how much graveyard hate do you have to play? Because I think I saw that the challenge last night there was like 2 or 3 oops players in the top 8. Um, oops won it. Um, Reanimator got second. Doomsday, Cats, Oops, Cutter. Looks like I imagine it's Cutter. No, it's non-Cutter Delver. Weird. I guess Juju Bean would do something dumb like that. Rug Delver, and then Beans. Okay. Okay, that doesn't that sounds like something weird he'd do. I have not paid attention to what Juju Bean's been doing for a long time. So, but anyway, that's a lot of oops. So I hope that's not indicative of a pattern for the future. Because if we have to put 4 ley lines back into our deck, then things get a little hairier. I don't want that to happen. I might just not, to be totally honest. We'll see. Math Precision, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, I mean, 4-2 playing as four combo decks, none of which I would say are good matchups, was hard to complain about that. Um, I feel like the games, those mirror games, I think honestly are probably going to be pretty instructive to people who maybe are struggling with the mirror, which I feel like should happen more often now. I feel like there's a lot of good reasons to want to play DNT right now. I mean, other than the Forge matchup, I think there's a lot else to be happy about, but anyway, yeah, we'll see. How is Yoshiwada doing? Right? Oh, Yoshiwada also went 4-2. His breakers are a lot better, so hopefully he can be one of the X2s that get in. That would be cool. I'm curious what he's been playing. Anyway, um, so yeah, I think those are the main questions. You know, how much graveyard hate do we have to play? What does the removal suite look like? I feel like it's Forge would have to fall off really hard for me to not have Gaddock T glued to my sideboard for the time being. Just like hard, I don't know. It feels like One Ring decks are going to be everywhere, and I feel like it is also important that Gaddock T actually is like one of the few 2 drops that you can play against. Um, Obviously, again, the 2 drops against the deck like Oops need a lot of support, but the part that's been hard is that none of the 2 drops actually like lock the game, and Gaddock Teague is the closest to locking the game because your opponent can't oops you other than like going for like planning on doing a memories journey on Thoracle line. Um and they can't belcher you, and they can't beseech you either. So I feel, and they can't force a vigor. If we get to the point where we're playing ley lines again, then ley line protected by Gaddock Teague is going to be pretty sick, I think. Um, so yeah, I think there's a lot to like about this deck. I think things that I'm wondering are, I mean, I honestly wonder if Bowmasters is even worth playing in the main deck, but I don't know what I would play over it. It feels like a very solid filler card right now, but not something that I'm excited to be playing. Um, it feels like, again, it could just be colored by my experiences today, but it feels like there's a lot of reasons to like Deafening Silence right now as a good way to just like cover bases against like basically all of the combo decks. Very few of the combo decks right now don't have trouble with Deafening Silence, which I think is something that was not true before the ban. So, and I said earlier, I also like flutes a lot right now, just especially when we just have, and we don't know when it's a pretty open field, you just don't know what's going to go on. Flute is very versatile. If your opponent needs to activate or cast any card in particular. The fleet's just pretty good for that reason. So gonna hang out for a little bit longer, but I'm just checking to see what if there's anybody else who's streaming, maybe who we can raid in a little bit. Um Oh, someone is playing Loam Pox in the challenge. It was this person right here. So they are 3-3 then, unfortunately. Wherever they are. Anyway, sorry. No. I read that wrong. They're right there. They're 5-1. So they're gonna be top 8ing, so we can raid them actually. That's cool. We'll do that.